non-discrimination in place with recruiting talent. I read a report that the Array School of Technology wasn't able to get one of the candidates that they were trying to bring in. And it was directly cited that it was of the lack of non-discrimination in the state.
Great. Representative Olson.
Yeah, thank you. So the Wyoming Constitution provides for has a very special provision in it, and it provides that all people in Wyoming are equal. If you see, our Constitution either means something or it doesn't. In fact, it means a lot. In fact, in the hierarchy of how we place our laws, it trumps anything in our little green books that we call statutes. So it is the supreme law of Wyoming. And so I do think that the law of equality already exists on the books in Wyoming. If there are issues regarding equality, then they ought to be enforced. In my spare time, when I'm not a legislator, I'm a lawyer. So when I'm not in the legislature, that's what I do. And I know that when we have issues and we have disputes, the solution is not always new laws. It's not new regulations. It's not bigger government. Instead, sometimes what it is taking the laws that we have and enforcing them. And there's this whole other realm, a third branch of government, believe it or not, called the judiciary. And so it's a very effective and powerful branch if we use it, and people have direct access to it to solve a lot of our social issues, a lot of our economic issues, a lot of our inequality issues if they would just utilize the laws on the books. So I do think that we have adequate protections in the state of Wyoming.
Great. Anyone else have questions? No. All right, we have 2 minutes for a closing statement. I believe Representative Olson, it is your turn to start.
Sure. Well, thank you again to the League, to those who are filming, of course, and to our moderator. Thank you for a wonderful discussion, particularly vetting the questions. While some of those questions may not have on the onset been important to me, they're important to someone. And so when we talked about, for example, limiting legislation, all I could think about was the hundreds and hundreds of people that come and meet me while I'm in session, and the thousands of emails that I get with issues that I don't know that exist. And so events like this are phenomenal because it allows me as a legislator to be close to the people. I think that's how representative government works. And it allows me, especially when you allow questions from the public, allows me to hear from the public and learn what issues matter to you. So I will be out over the next 2 weeks canvassing my district, doing more of that and meeting with my constituents. And constantly having the conversation about these issues and more, because I believe that the solutions that we talk about in government aren't going to come from me. They're not going to come from Mr. Taylor. They're not going to come from any of my other colleagues. A lot of those solutions are going to come from individuals like you. In fact, they should, because that's how representative government works. So my plea to all of you is to stay involved. Not just tonight with this event, but to get out and actually vote and to talk to your friends and your neighbors so that they can get out and they can vote and so that their voice can be heard. And so thank you.
And Mr. Taylor.
I would like to thank the League for putting this on and the paper for their work in the film crew. Thank you for moderating. You've done a tremendous job. I just want to say that throughout this process, one of the things that I've enjoyed the most is hearing directly from the people. Every time you meet somebody at their door or you talk to somebody at a forum like this, you learn something new. And through that process, we're able to bring their voice to the House of Representatives. And the House of Representatives is the body of government that is supposed to be closest and most reactive to the people's will. And the only way we're going to do that is through these kind of forums and hearing from those people. And so it really is to move Wyoming into the future and solve the issues, and doing that is definitely through the work of the people. So thank you all for coming and allowing me the opportunity to speak.
Great. And thank you, folks, all for coming out. Just a reminder, our general election is November 6th. And Please be sure to go to the Laramie County Clerk's website if you have any questions about voting. You can also vote early at the Laramie County Governmental Complex, 309 West 20th Street. Don't ask me why I know that. And it's in the atrium, and you can also pick up a paper absentee ballot there. Thank you all so much for coming, and have a good evening.